So it looks like it's raining outside. Sounds like a good day to stay inside and make some good stuff to eat. What we're going to do is we're going to make a tomato pie. We went to the farmer's market and got these great looking tomatoes, and I think what we're going to end up with is something that's going to be really good. What we'll probably do is freeze them. We're going to make a bunch of them. We're going to make the pastry by hand also, and I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so what I've done, just in preparation, is to take some onions, I guess about 6 or 7 of the small onions. I cut them up, and you can see over here in the pan, I'm not really frying them up, I'm just sweating them. I don't want to brown them, that's not the intention. What I'm hoping for is that they'll just get translucent. At that stage, they're real sweet. The pastry we're going to use by Cuisinart, it's a lot easier. It's just a lot easier. So if you have one, use it. The ratio of flour to butter is 1 1/4 cup of flour to 1 stick of butter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use all cold ingredients. I've frozen these sticks of butter. Whoa! It's storming outside. I've frozen these sticks of butter to make them really, really cold because, again, same story. I need everything to stay cold. So here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just chunk this up into smaller pieces. What I have here is some ice water, okay? I'm going to use ice water, and I'm going to pour just a little bit of it in here while I'm whizzing it, just so that it starts to come together. When it comes together, that's all I want it to go. That's as far as I want it to go, okay? So here we go. Okay, that looks like it's pretty good right there. We're going to take this off. And notice that this is still pretty cold to the touch, and that's kind of where we wanted it to be. I will tell you right now, I am not good at getting these center things out of here. So here's what we do. We just dump the whole thing, bang it out, and retrieve it like this. Being very careful because these knives are real, real sharp. These are nasty. I'd hate to get a cut with one of these things. Okay, that's that guy right back in there. Now we have to roll this out. So what we're going to do, I don't have a rolling pin, but I do have a wine bottle. Oh yeah. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take some wine. Actually, no, I'm going to take some flour. I'm going to put it on the wine bottle so that this stuff doesn't stick to it.
However, you have to remind the viewers that they have to drink the wine out of the bottle first before they use the bottle as a rolling pin. Right?
Sure. Okay. So, again, this is cold. We're going to give this a roll here. We're also going to get some flour down here, too. At this point, I really don't want it to stick. So I'm going to just give me some flour down there on the board to keep things moving. There we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and grease this pie pan just so that it doesn't stick. Because that's kind of disappointing. You go through all this work and you're trying to get a piece out and it just sticks, and that can ruin your day. So I'm going to do a couple of these real quick here. It's still storming like crazy outside. I don't know if you can get a shot of that. You might want to have a look at that. The wind's picking up pretty much.
What are you doing? What are you doing now?
I'm rolling this thinner. What I wanted to do is I want to get it about the size of this pan, because that's where it's going to end up going. It doesn't have to be perfect. These are going to be kind of rustic looking, so they don't really need to be pretty. They do need to taste good. There's different ways you can do this. You can fold this. What you want to do is you want to get it from here to here, sort of like in one piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to pick the whole thing up, put it in like that, and then unfold it. Now I'm going to have some extras, and that's fine. I'll just tear this off a little bit like that. Save this for next time around. Take some of the excess and put it where I need it. I'm going to go ahead and punch little holes in it. This gives the air that expands from the heat a place to go. Okay, so my partner's cut up the tomatoes that we got at the farmer's market, and I want you to see what I've done with them, okay? Have a look. What I've done is I've laid out a dish towel. I put the tomatoes on the dish towel in the hopes that the dish towel will absorb some of the water. I've also salted them too. I use some coarse kosher salt to go ahead and pull some of the water out of the tomatoes, because we don't want the crust to get really soggy. So the drier the tomato meat is, the better it's going to be. This cheese here is grated Pecorino Romano cheese. It's real good. It's almost as good as Parmesan Reggiano. Doesn't cost as much. Good stuff. This here is white cheese. It's white American cheese, but it's sharp cheddar. White. You might be used to seeing cheddar cheese as orange. That's because they add something called annatto in it, and that's just a coloring agent. But before they do that, it looks like this. This. Over here, we have the onions that we've sweat. And see how they're translucent, but they're not really browned. They're just translucent. We made 6 crusts. I know you didn't see all of them being made, but we did make 6 crusts. What we're going to do is we're going to bake off the crust first. The reason that we're going to bake off the crust first is because if we put all these ingredients in a raw dough crust, it's going to get soggy. It will be the consistency of pumpkin pie, how underneath the brown stuff it's not cooked. That's really not what I'm going for. I kind of want a brown crust even on the bottom, right? So I'm going to bake them off first, then pull them out, then add the ingredients in and build them, okay? The oven's preheated to 400 degrees. You can probably get a good look at here, right here. And here we go. We're going to put them in the oven. Now, I'm going to use a feature this oven has. It's speed bake convection. I'm going to go ahead and do that. What it does is it stirs hot air through the oven so that everything is supposed to. And we found the feta cheese that I also wanted to use. Now, we're going to have a combination of 3 cheeses. We're going to have the Pecorino Romano cheese, we're going to have the sharp cheddar, and now we're going to have the feta cheese as well. So this is going to be a really nice cheesy tomato pie. So I went outside and I picked some basil off the plants I have growing outside. I got a couple of these. So they're soaking in water just to get the loose dirt knocked off of them. And we're going to use these as an ingredient. I can tell you that this stuff smells really good. These are the pie crusts that have come out of the oven. They're nice. They got a nice, real good color on them. I like how they're really dark on the edges here. And one thing too, you saw how I Criscoed them really well. See how they're coming away from the pie tin? That means they're going to come out real easy. That's nice.